guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is FAQ number 9. Once again, many thanks for your great feedback so far. Lots of questions. Sometimes I don't have time to answer all of them. Gonna try to do my best, so let's get straight into the questions. So number 1 from Booga. Question: since the Katana is all about messing with EQ, will the speaker deteriorate over time? Will it lose its fidelity? I have 2 requests. Can you do Death Spirit Crusher song and Sodom Agent Orange song, 89 patch? Love your work, Juca, metal guitar player here, with a Solar and a Katana MK2. Been having a lot of fun with Megadeth's Holy Wars patch that recently came out. In terms of deterioration, you don't have to worry about that, because guys, it won't happen, okay? Only if you really mess it with it, but it won't happen. And even if it does, not in the sense of deteriorating itself and being damaged, new speakers, there are a lot of guys that run a signal into new speakers to sort of break them. I don't know if this is a myth or not, but you have to leave me a comment below, because I've seen lots of debates over the internet about that. A speaker being breaking up a brand versus a new speaker. I don't know if for myself, in my honest opinion, I don't know if I notice much of a difference between sort of say a speaker that has had lots of hours into playing alongside with a speaker that is new. Maybe there is a difference, I have no idea, but it will not deteriorate. And if you take care of your amp, you'll find you're ready to go. Regarding the patches, thanks a lot. The Holy Wars patch, it sounds great. I agree with you. And the other patches, stay tuned, man, and I'll see what I can do. Let's go for the next question. Nuno Martins. This is Portuguese, probably. Hi, what good headphones do you recommend to get a good sound out of the Boss Katana? Thank you. Oh, this is a hard question, because the Boss Katana doesn't have a really good sound via headphones. And the headphones I use are over there, and let me pick them up to show you what headphones I'm talking about. So I've been using this Audio Technica ATH AVC 500. They're not extremely, they're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive as well. And I have great results, but I rarely do this with the Katana, you know. When I'm working with the Katana, and if you have an audio interface, I prefer to, if I'm using the headphones, what I do is put the Katana via USB, of course, into my computer, and then use this connected to my audio interface instead of the Katana. And I can disconnect the Katana, I mean putting in standby, because you always have signal via USB. The sound is cut, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, you can put it in standby and it'll still have sound if you're monitoring via your DAW software, if you have something like that. And it's much better, because after the fact, when your signal gets to the DAW, and if you're just playing or practicing or something, you can always shape the tone in real time, you know, and have no latency issues, like put in an EQ to solve some issues, because the signal from USB, although it's a weak signal, you have to really push the volume knob to get it right, and it's not the best one, as we all know so far. So it's good for stereo delays and reverb and chorus, that's perfect, you know. But if I'm recording for myself via USB, it needs a lot of treatment, post-processing and stuff like that to really make it shine, okay? But for that is ideal. You know, the Katana is not famous for having, like I said, a great sound via headphones, so I don't think there's a pair of headphones that really makes any justice, you know what I mean, to the tone, or improve the tone. That's what I meant with the Katana. So these are the ones I use, but once again, I started using this on the Katana, but I stopped immediately because it was no good for me. So when I do, and I rarely do it, but if I need to do it, I'll connect it to my audio interface and monitor it via my DAW, and I'll get a much better sound, because I can sculpt a little bit the tone, and not just for recording, but for practicing. So I hope this answers your question. And if you don't have a sound card, stereo audio interface, there's a bunch of stereo audio interfaces. They're very, very affordable, like the Focusrite range, like the Solo. They're very affordable, and I highly recommend you to get one if you don't have one yet. Thanks for your question. Let's go for the next one. From Scott Green: which EQ to use and how? Looking at a Neil Sean patch for Light Journey. I did a Neil Sean patch. I believe it was for the MK2. Yeah, it was for the MK2. You asked me a very, not a very specific question, I mean, what EQ to use. For that patch, as always, and I hope this answers your question, it's not a case of what EQ to use. You can use, I don't know if you're talking about the slide EQ or the parametric EQ, because both work in different ways, of course. On the parametric EQ, you have more control over the Q, over a certain frequency, you know what I mean? If you boost like 200 Hertz, you can boost it like in a wide range, or, you know, very like this. I'm missing the term right now. Narrow, that's the, or you can do this the opposite, right? A narrow cut on the EQ and a wide cut on EQ. That's the Q factor on the parametric EQ that you can control over a lot of frequencies. You cannot do that on the graphic EQ. They're fixed bands, so you have no idea what type of, if you booster or cut, what type of curve you're actually making. So it's not a question which EQ to use. I mean, probably I use both. Probably, yeah, I always use one at the end of the chain, the parametric EQ, amp out, never amp in. I don't like the tone of that. And then I'll probably use on one of those slots, effects or modulation, I use another EQ probably to shape the tone, but I have that patch and I can't recall it right now, but it probably had 2 EQs and then a bunch of effects, kind of for a Neil Schon type of tone. So you have to figure it out or grab my patch and see what's going on. I think it's the best thing to do. Thanks for your question. From Sahin, I can pronounce the rest of the name. Some patches are good only in effects loop, but as you know, Katana M50 does not have send return. Can I use amp in instead? Yeah, I mean, I found out I have this pedal that I've been waiting a lot of time to do the demo, the Crossfire, that simulates an amp, basically a Fender, and it's great because it also has a tube screamer in it. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, I put a picture here, and I haven't done that test yet. But since it simulates kind of a Fender amp, and people always say connected, even the guys say connected to the cleanest possible amp. So I thought to myself, why not connect it to power amp in, or even the return in my case on the MK2, because it sounds so much better. You don't have to worry about the preamp, just the power amp, right? You're talking about some pedals are good only in effects loop. Depends on what pedals you really want to use. Distortion pedals and stuff like that, I've tried and they actually sound good. No worries, you just bypass the preamp on the Katana. I had no issues with distortion pedals. Now regarding other pedals, I don't know what kind of pedals you can connect to by itself, pedals by itself on the Katana MK2. Like I guess you're not talking about reverbs and delays, because that makes no sense, because then you would have just the clean tone from the Katana and the effect. So I bet you're talking about, but if you have like a pedal board and you have a distortion like a delay and stuff like that, you can connect it to the power amp. There's no problem with that. It will probably sound good. Do it. Thanks for your question. From Bart GTK, and this is a question I was not expecting. Hi Juca, what is your favorite food? Well, I can spend here the rest of the afternoon, this is Saturday, talking about what's my favorite food, but I guess I don't have one. I like a little bit of everything. I mean, there are certain Portuguese food that I really like, that I cannot put it in English right now, but I don't know. That's a really great question. But if I remember, meanwhile, if I have the time to remember when I'm editing, when I will edit this video, I'll probably post a picture here and tell you what's my favorite food, but I don't have a favorite food, so that's an issue, I think. Do you have a favorite food? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your question. Now from Wilhelm, would you rather have unlimited bacon and no games, or games, unlimited games, but no games? What does that supposed to mean? I mean, I saw this question, and I asked a few friends about, is this any kind of say in the States or whatever, because I have no clue how to answer this. Would you rather have unlimited bacon or no bacon, and unlimited games or no? I don't know, man. What? Yeah, whatever. Last but not least, from saying, which analog drive pedal would you use in front of the Katana? If you, this is the same person that asked me before. If you would have to pick one, also which amp setting, clean, acoustic, brown, etc. would you use? Probably analog drive pedal. I don't know, man. There's so many analog drive pedals on the market. You have to try it for yourself, man, because there's no such thing as a perfect drive, I guess. I mean, I don't have too many analog pedals because Boss OD200. I don't know if it counts as an analog pedal because there's all that digital stuff for patching for presets and stuff like that. Maybe it's analog. I don't know. But I do have a Friedman OD Deluxe and that Crossfire. Now, it's not important the pedal because you have to test it first, okay? And you have to try a bunch of pedals until you're happy with the pedal. It's more about the channel where you connect it. Like I said in a previous video, there are some guys that get great results connecting a pedal like a HM2 into the acoustic channel and then treat it accordingly in Boston Studio, of course. And they say it's the best pedal platform. I don't subscribe to that because I already tried and it doesn't work for me. So I normally use the clean channel, okay? It's everything at noon, the cleanest possible thing. I would only cut depending on the pedal because somehow you have controls on the pedal to cut the high, the fizziness. But I always kind of use, it's like a fixed thing on the parametric EQ at the end of the Boston Studio. It's like always in 5 kilohertz, 6 kilohertz, 8 max, only if I'm doing something more acoustic. But it's like that for everything that I do, because I think after 10 kilohertz and flat, you get a lot of fizziness. It's like the parametric EQ is disengaged basically. So I leave it like that on the high cut, low cut around 4 hertz, 40 hertz to 60 hertz, depends, can go higher. But a pedal in front of the Katana, you have to experiment lots of different pedals to see which one fits, if you can try them, of course. I'm talking for myself, I cannot do that. I have like a Governor, a Marshall Governor, also MXR distortion and some other pedals that might be lying around. But this is the thing, we're kind of never happy with our tones, right? And we connect them and then, yeah, right. This is not a problem, but this is the thing with the Katana. I bought a lot of different pedals that are already sold, drive pedals, okay, because I was getting the same tone from the Katana by itself, so it was really not adding anything to the Katana. You might want a very specific pedal, for example, a fuzz pedal will do wonders, since the fuzz inside Tone Studio is far from being good. I prefer to get fuzz tones with other pedals by, turning the gain all the way up and get fuzziness, natural fuzz, sort of speaking, then actually going to the fuzz pedal. Unless it's the octave fuzz, that one sounds really cool. But the fuzz by itself is not very good. Maybe we'll have an upgrade or update soon. I don't know, we'll see. But I'll probably use it on a clean channel because it's for me it's the best channel to use drive pedals. But then again, you can connect it to the crunch channel and turn the gain way down, and you have like a sort of a clean tone. You can do that also on the lead channel and even on the brown channel. If you really turn off the gain, you almost have no gain. And the distortion pedal will probably be a benefit to those channels, you know what I mean? So sometimes I happen to test that out, a drive pedal, for example the Boss OD200 on the Clone Centaur, and I tested it on the clean channel, sounds okay. Then I went to the crunch channel with the crunch basically down, and it sounded great. And I repeated that on lead and brown channel, it also sounded great. So it's different terms, but if you want just a clean platform, I advise you to connect to the clean channel, or why not going into the power amp in of the Katana and see the results, because you might be surprised. It's the best that I have here right now. It's not really an FR kind of system, but it works really great for external pedals, and especially for pedal boards. Speaking about, this little baby just arrived. Thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks, boss, for sending me this unit. Already tested it, sounds great, but I haven't had the time to start yet making a patch. And it's really cool because now that I have this, I can start making patches for this unit as well. And the touchscreen is really sensitive, touch sensitive, works pretty well. It has some new stuff. It does require a Bluetooth adapter, so it doesn't bring that, okay? But it sits between the core and the GT1000, right? But in terms of options, you have all the sounds from the GT1000 basically, and you can use two reverb blocks. One thing that you couldn't do on the, and it still can't do on the GT1000. So it there's a wah pedal, a little bit smaller than the typical wah pedal, but it's very user friendly, and I'm really digging the tones out of this. Somehow they might be the tones from the GT1000, but I don't know why they sound a little bit different. So I don't know what they've done, if they have done anything to that regarding the tones and stuff like that. But here it is. I had a lot of questions asking me when do I start making patches for this, so I'm gonna start real soon. It's already on my website, a page for that, and so stay tuned for that. Okay guys, it's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this FAQ. Please bring your questions below this episode so I can put them all together for the next episode. I always announce a little bit earlier, so you guys remember to make your questions or to put your questions, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. You can hit that bell notification so you stay updated for new content. And also regarding the Patreon site, I already talked about this in other videos. There's a lot of cool aspects to that. I'm not going to mention them again. Check my other videos. But it's a great deal. You're helping me out, and I'm giving away a lot of free stuff on Patreon that I usually don't do anywhere else. So for a fixed price, a very low price, you can get lots of cool stuff. So guys, once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe wherever you are. Cheers.